Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. Thanks for tuning in. Great to be with you. This holiday edition of LTN needs to come up. And we're glad you could stop by. I'm happier to be here with you, for sure. And I noticed traffic a little lighter this morning. Maybe it's all started. Parking lot a little empty at the station. We're working. We're here. We're live. Coast to coast and globally. And thanks for tuning in. And always appreciate your listenership and viewership. You can watch the show at letstalknutrition.com. Gary will tell you all about that in a moment. We have a couple of guests lined up. Mattu is the first guest in the first portion of the show. And then who else is coming up? Batter up.
Jim's coming up.
Jim Lavalle.
Lavalle.
Yeah, he's very good. He's been doing clinical work for many, many, many years. And smart guy on it, dialed in. We'll talk to him in the second portion of the show. I was perusing, as I do every morning, the journals and the popular periodicals, looking at news reports. And I saw that Time magazine had Time.com story on the flu. I had reported on this about a week ago that there were some signs that this flu season is not going to be a picnic. And it could be worse. In the headline at Time, it said it could be worse than usual, and the vaccine may not help. Uh-oh. Now, be mindful. These viruses have been around since the beginning. They are microscopic, but they are certainly macroscopic in their effect. And they know how to adapt. It's just amazing, their place in nature and what they do and how we are implicated with them. They're saying, the folks at the CDC, public health experts everywhere. The CDC, I'll have another story on the CDC coming up here in a moment, by the way. They're predicting that the flu will be severe for a number of reasons this season. First of all, typically what the experts do, they look to Australia to see what's happening there during their flu season. And it usually augurs that of the U.S. What can I tell you about Australia for this year's flu season? Yeah, well, the flu is 2.5. There are 2.5 times as many cases in Australia than typical for this period of the year. The vaccine that usually is made from prediction models, they're trying to predict how the virus will mutate, designed to inoculate hundreds of millions of people, may not be as effective as they thought it would be or hoped it would be. This is not good. Flu vaccines are manufactured. This is a process that has been used for decades. They grow the influenza virus in millions of chicken eggs over a period of about 4 months. Takes. So what that means that the flu shot, as reported in Time, flu shot manufacturers, you have to be doing this ahead of time. So every year during around springtime, influenza experts at the WHO, the CDC, they offer their best guess based on prediction models and based on the previous year's flu vaccines or cases about what strains of virus will emerge during the coming winter. they're guessing, but it's informed guessing, if you will. Sometimes they get it right, most of the time. Other times, not so much. Because the viruses are clever. They have a certain kind of intelligence. They may be microscopic, but believe you me, they know how to adapt. So this is a harbinger for a tough flu season. I already have seen, at least here, even at the station, not that it's a representative sample, people have been rung up like pinball machines. And apparently it's pretty tough. Now, there's cold viruses and flu viruses. Sometimes people confuse them and think they have the flu and they have a cold, or think they have the cold and they have the flu. Knowing which is very important. So they're expecting about, 600,000 people per year globally can be a victim in terms of dying. That's an amazing statistic. I haven't checked that number, but that's what's reported in Time. And I'll quote them. Flu-related illnesses can also be deadly, claiming up to 600,000 people per year globally, close quote.
If I came to you, if I was your buddy and I came to you and said, hey, doc, should I go get a flu virus shot? What would you say to me as your friend? Honestly.
Yeah, you should.
Right.
That runs against the grain of people in the world of natural health and medicine. If you're pregnant, if you're young, the elderly, those are three vulnerable populations. You know, my daughter has her PhD in virology. She studies viruses. And I've had this conversation with her. I've had her on my show talking about it. There are people that swear that they get the flu shot, they get sick. What you're reacting to, typically, your immune system is reacting to the virus, to the injection, to the vaccine. And sometimes the preservatives may cause a reaction in some people.
Well, I plan on getting it tomorrow, so I might just do it this afternoon then and get it over with then.
This year's shot includes H1N1, H3N2, and influenza B. It's a nice cocktail. Flu viruses are not easy to grow in chicken eggs, so they said that they help the process along. I mean, when you look at and the viruses are inert. These aren't living viruses that are in the vaccine. They're inert. They're dead. They're muerto. So I know this is controversial. Now, you asked me as a friend.
Yeah.
My recommendation to the audience is that you have to make your judgment. You know, you asked me that. You know, what I say to you and what I would say when I'm saying to the audience are I had no hesitancy in telling you that as a friend. But as a producer and host of this show, my message to the audience is weigh the evidence, do your research. I do lean towards getting the flu shot. But I can't prescribe or treat, nor do I want to. You have to make that decision ultimately yourself. It is controversial. I'll bet you half of the audience for this show, which is in the thousands, you couldn't get them the flu shot if you held them at gunpoint. We'll be back with Jazz.
I'm Joy McCarthy, holistic nutritionist, and I expect more from my multivitamin. I've researched many vitamins, and what's truly different about Every Woman's One Daily from New Chapter is that it's fermented with probiotics and whole foods and gentle even on an empty stomach. Every Woman's One Daily helps you feel good every day. giving you immune, energy, and stress support, and nutrients for bone and heart health. You will notice a difference. Every Woman's One Daily recently won the Best Multivitamin Award, and I love that it's non-GMO project verified. Discover the wisdom of nature with New Chapter.
Whether you spend your free time on a treadmill, under a car, or in your garden, if your active lifestyle leaves you sore, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce may be exactly what you need. Inflammaforce has a natural herb blend that acts as an anti-inflammatory to help maintain healthy joint and mobility support. There are standardized herbs like white willow, boswellia, turmeric, ginger, and devil's claw. The vegetarian capsule promotes easy digestion and a fast-acting dissolve process. Inflammaforce includes a proprietary enzyme herbal blend full of antioxidants and flavonoids that target pain and inflammation throughout the body. Body Vigor's Inflammaforce contains ingredients that support normal, healthy joint flexibility and function, builds healthy tissue, and helps with your recovery process. So if you're tired of sore joints and inflamed muscles, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce is your answer. Purchase Inflammaforce.
Let's Talk Nutrition. Jazz Mattu is my guest in his first portion of the show. And Jazz has been on before, and we already enjoy having him on. We have a caller in Largo, Florida. I'll get to Steve in just a moment. Steve, just hang on. Let's get Jazz on. Jazz, welcome back to Let's Talk Nutrition. Great to have you on, man.
Good morning, Dr. Greca. Thank you for having me.
So you heard my opening, my monologue about the flu this season, and could be worse than usual for the reasons that I cited. the thing that you wanted to talk about today, which so far is a mystery because I haven't revealed it, would it have any application to helping people do better against the flu virus?
Absolutely, certainly.
Okay, good. So tell the audience what I'm talking about.
We're talking about Strauss heart drops. This is a synergistic herbal medicinal product that contains a number of natural occurring herbs in there. Beneficial, obviously, from the name for cardiovascular function, heart support, but at the same time, has its benefits with regard to supporting the immune system too. There are herbs in there like garlic. I know we spoke about that quite a bit last time I was on the air. Also, but some beneficial other herbs that could certainly assist in helping supporting the immune system.
Will the garlic help boost the immune system?
Absolutely.
Okay,
We've
so
known for centuries that garlic is almost, they call it nature's antibiotic in terms of helping, with microscopic organisms and helping to combat any issues and support immune system.
let's go to we have a caller. I want to get him on, Jazz, because he's been holding in the broadcast wing. Steve, welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. Great to have you on. You had a question?
Yeah, about something called aflatoxin, AFLA.
Yes, aflatoxins. Yeah, relative to what?
Sunflower seeds.
Okay. Generally speaking, aflatoxins are poisonous carcinogens. They're produced by molds. There's certain kinds of molds. There's one, Aspergillus flavus, if you want to know the Latin name, and the other one is Aspergillus parasiticus. Not that you'll remember them, but that's okay. They grow in soil and decaying vegetation, hay, and grains. They are dangerous. Now, you asked about aflatoxins relative to sunflower seeds. Of course, now I'm going to tell you this tongue in cheek. If you live in Tanzania, it's a big problem, literally, because
it's been brought to my attention that there's a spike in retired baseball players with head and neck cancers related to aflatoxin.
Okay, and so you're because they eat a lot of sunflower seeds. They also chew and a lot of tobacco. And
pretty much gone by the wayside over the years.
I don't know, man. I see those boys out there. They mix it with bubble gum. They're doing the chew. They mix it with the bubble gum, and they mix the chew with the bubble gum, and they still do a lot of chew. And it causes mouth cancer, lip cancer. There may be a correlation to which would be head and neck cancer of one sort or another. I'm not so sure it's Now, I don't know. I haven't looked at this. I'm doing this on the fly with you. But you raise an interesting question. These aflatoxins in sunflower seeds can be dangerous. It's rare in this country, but I can tell you, truly, in Tanzania, there's a high risk to aflatoxins through sunflower seeds and cakes from the microscale millers that they have in Tanzania. And those people are in grave danger when they put their life at risk eating those sunflower seeds that are milled there. In this country, not so much. But the baseball players, I'm inclined to believe it's the tobacco that they're chewing. That's my guess.
Well, as you well know, they can track the source of the cancer pretty well nowadays. I mean, they're not guessing as much as they used to.
Yeah, well,
it can be defined if it's tobacco. It can be defined as such usually. Smoking and alcohol are two risk factors for men for head and neck cancer. HPV-16, that virus, is now a risk factor for head and neck cancer in men. And I know that because I had head and neck cancer last year. You know that, right? Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, so I got infected. Well, I got infected with a virus probably decades ago, but I'll look more into it. You always raise good questions, man.
I understand that that bitter, nasty taste in sunflower seed you get every once in a while.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a fan of sunflower seeds. I don't like the way they taste, so I don't eat them.
They get caught in my teeth. I don't like them either.
But I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays, Steve. You're a long-time listener,
Back at you, man.
and I appreciate you, man.
How's the weight loss program going there?
With Gary, he weighs 100 and...
Not 2. I wish 100. I started the show at 318. I'm down to 274.
So he's doing good.
Wow. All right.
We're coming along.
Do it, man. About
Thank you.
35 pounds in a year, huh?
Yeah,
Great,
we're
man.
doing all right. I want to get back to Jazz.
All right, guys.
Jazz, I had to take that call because he was waiting a long time, but I'll give you a chance now to spend the rest of the show in educating the audience about Strauss heart drops. I know you're a fan, right?
Absolutely. It's an amazing product. Being a medical herbalist and having done my training in the study of botanical medicine, I'm all about plants that are healing us, and this
Right.
is a great formula. It's got the hawthorn extract in there, which we know that hawthorn's one of the most popular plants with regards to cardiovascular function.
Well, hold your thought. We'll come back. We'll give you a chance to unroll that even more and open up the chapter.
Battling sinus.
The perfect complement to your beauty regimen? Try Form Essentials Zinnia. The finest of its kind, Zinnia offers twice as much biotin as other formulas, which has proven to unlock the vibrancy in even the dullest of hair, skin, and nails. Zinnia breaks through and rejuvenates cells internally, helping you achieve the allure of effortless beauty. Reviving your hair, skin, and nails has never been easier. This essential blend of biotin, alpha-lipoic, and hyaluronic acid, collagen, and vitamin C creates lasting enhancements to your natural good looks. Don't go on wondering. You're worth the results. This combination of ingredients can only be found in Zinnia. Pamper yourself with a proven bit of affordable luxury and start looking your best. Ask for Zinnia by name at your nearest vitamin retailer to begin your journey to restored nails, head-turning hair, and radiant skin today. For more information, visit formessentials.com.
When your alarm goes off, do you jump out of bed with excitement, or does it take multiple alarms, a few snooze buttons, or a morning caffeine fix to get you going? These habits and daily stress cause a vicious cycle in which sleep becomes increasingly elusive. In fact, 54% of Americans report struggles to fall or stay asleep. For a better night's rest, look no further than Solace, an all-natural dietary supplement that supports healthy sleep and relaxation, so you get the rest you need to wake up clear-eyed, alert, and ready for the day. Solace has given thousands a better night's rest and the power to take back their mornings while enjoying the day ahead of them. Solace is formulated with non-addictive, scientifically proven, all-natural ingredients that support sleep and relaxation, such as melatonin, tryptophan, and 5-HTP. For more information or to order Solace, visit takesolace.com. Solace, for healthy sleep naturally.
Jazz Mattu, educator for Strauss Heart Drops, Strauss Formulas, Strauss, not the composer Strauss, the herbalist Strauss. Don't want to. The Strauss, the composer, was, a couple of centuries or more ago. But fast forward to Strauss up in Canada, and we're on to something good. Jazz, welcome back. It's great to have you on. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, by the way.
Thank you, and the same to you.
It was rude, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome. I'm doing great.
Are you?
Yes.
Where are you today?
I'm in Vancouver.
Oh,
British
good.
Columbia in Canada.
Well, thank you for getting up so early.
No worries. It's all good.
So tell me, why are you such a fan? I mean, you don't have to do this job, and you chose to do it. Why? What convinced you about the Strauss Heart Drops? You're an herbalist, man. You're a master herbalist. What got into your head about it?
Absolutely. Well, as a person who studied chemistry prior to studying herbal medicine, I've always been fascinated by what's on our earth and what's been given to us in terms of healing plants. I've always had an interest, and I've always noticed that in plants, there are certain phytochemicals in there that have a physiological action on the body. The Strauss Heart Drops formula is primarily a sort of synergistic formulation of a number of herbs like garlic, like hawthorn, mistletoe, motherwort, cayenne, bilberry extract, and willow bark. The combination of these herbs that are really doing some great benefits with regards to supporting the cardiovascular aspect of our body on many different levels. So I've always been very interested, and this particular formula, although it's been around for many years, it's been one that I've often recommended to my patients, and when I'm out there talking, I've seen some amazing things happen. There's testimonials all from around the world, mostly in Canada, but from around the world with regards to the benefits that people have experienced from, reducing blood pressure concerns, from supporting circulation, dealing with, some serious cardiovascular issues and stuff that have been going on that this particular formula has managed to improve. So, yeah, I mean, it's an amazing formula.
And for the listener and viewer, you can go to Heart Drops for Life, the Arabic numeral 4, heartdropsforlife.com or straussformulas.com. It'll get you there. And they have your questions can be in. They have a nice frequently asked questions section. And in Canada, that product has been on the market for decades, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. The company are based. The formulation actually comes from Europe, and it dates back to hundreds of years. Although the company Strauss Naturals down here in Canada have been around for almost 40 years right now with regards to this formula. So I would say, in my opinion, it's the most popular heart formula in terms of a natural heart formula, a botanical heart formula out there across Canada, and it's growing very, very fast. I'm sure they're in the U.S. too, as well as other parts of the world.
Mm-hmm. Are the Strauss Heart Drops contraindicated for people who are taking high blood pressure medications?
When it comes to medications and stuff like that, generally, I mean, although there are sort of no specific contraindications with medications, however, as an educator and as a company, we do recommend that, people, first of all, those people that choose to take it away from medications, which is the standard, an hour or two away from medications,
mm-hmm.
and also to obviously, be conscious and aware that if they are taking prescription medications, they may need to, adjust the dosage. So they need to speak to their physician, inform him or her that they're taking a natural product like Strauss, and therefore, monitor, let's say, for instance, their blood pressure, so that way things could be adjusted.
Sure. In terms of the raw materials, because I try to educate the listening and viewing audience of the show about dietary supplementation, and raw materials is an issue, always.
Mm-hmm.
from where are the raw materials sourced? Are the raw materials organic, or are they wild grown? What do we have there?
Predominantly, the herbal sources of the raw materials are from Europe, and as you probably know, a lot of the European studies and in terms of botanical medicine have been well ahead in terms of advances. So most of them are sourced from Europe. They are non-GMO. They're ethically wildcrafted, so they've come from their natural habitat. So they're grown in a traditional farming practices. So they are third-party tested. So in other words, they're free from heavy metals, pesticides, any sort of contamination, that type of thing. So, but yeah.
From your experience, from the company's experience, I know what the directions say on the bottle. I'd like you to share what the recommended dosage is. Do you have people taking it in what I call therapeutic doses, and do they notice a difference when, in other words, going off the label and doing more than what's recommended on the label?
Well, we always recommend that that people follow the label instructions. However, as you know, that can vary from individual, from people's age to what gender they are, and depending on what's going on, and that dosage may be able to be adjusted accordingly. The standard dosing is 2.5 mils, and that's taken 3 times a day. That's recommended. That's the standard dose. As a maintenance, people could choose to do 1 mil 3 times a day, or from a preventative point of view, because this is a formulation that can be done from a preventative point of view. So 1 mil 3 times a day, but on a therapeutic level, the recommended amount is 2.5 mils 3 times a day. Now, again, depending on based of an individual, that could be adjusted either up or down from an effect and from a therapeutic effect.
Go ahead, Gary.
What about if you're like diabetic and you have the neuropathy, and will it help with the?
Okay, yeah. What Gary's asking, well, it turns out that being diabetic is a risk factor for heart disease, and diabetics will experience some neuropathy in their feet and their hands. Gary's asking, does it help with circulation?
Absolutely. This product is really, truly about
circulation.
Yeah, because my neighbor's a biker, and he's got diabetes, and he's got really bad hand and feet problems, and he can't feel the brakes and the clutch.
He might. Yeah, I don't know if he should be on the bike.
He's a young guy. He's 46.
So when you come back, you can go ahead and repeat that when we come back, okay, Jazz?
Sure.
About the circulation. Strauss Heart Drops, it's a Canadian company. They've been around a long time. It's been in the family. Jazz can give you a nice, real thumbnail sketch of the history. Long established, well respected. We'll be back. You're listening to LTN Coast to Coast.
Whether you spend your free time on a treadmill, under a car, or in your garden, if your active lifestyle leaves you sore, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce may be exactly what you need. Inflammaforce has a natural herb blend that acts as an anti-inflammatory to help maintain healthy joint and mobility support. There are standardized herbs like white willow, boswellia, turmeric, ginger, and devil's claw. The vegetarian capsule promotes easy digestion and a fast-acting dissolve process. Inflammaforce includes a proprietary enzyme herbal blend full of antioxidants and flavonoids that target pain and inflammation throughout the body. Body Vigor's Inflammaforce contains ingredients that support normal, healthy joint flexibility and function, builds healthy tissue, and helps with your recovery process. So if you're tired of sore joints and inflamed muscles, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce is your answer. Purchase Inflammaforce exclusively on Amazon.com.
Strauss Formulas. They are a great company up in Canada, well known, almost legendary in their reputation. And they've had their, they have a pretty harmonious relationship with the Canadian version of the FDA. I know back in the day they battled a little bit, but they have prevailed, haven't they?
They have indeed. I mean, this is the NPN regulation that came in several years back is really about that relationship, about working with Health Canada with regards to natural products and looking at efficacy, looking at safety are paramount, and that's certainly the case. I mean, for instance, the mistletoe, which is one of the herbs in this particular formulation, is the only natural herbal formula available in Canada that contains mistletoe. And mistletoe, Health Canada have had a look at this particular herb and allowed Strauss to include it in their formula. So absolutely, so it's been verified and from Health Canada's point of view.
Yeah, I mean, Health Canada is the equivalent to the FDA here in the United States. So companies that work out of Canada, officed in Canada, and bring import products into the U.S. have to get through Health Canada, and they have to get through the FDA. So they're pretty rigorously scrutinized. The product is in liquid form, yes?
It is.
Some people, it has a garlic taste, a pungent taste. If you mix it with water, does that cut it in terms of its efficacy?
It can do a little bit. It will just take the punch out of it. You're still going to get that garlic smell and that flavor there, of course, because, garlic's, it's an aged garlic. It's a very powerful form of garlic in there. And as we know, part of the medicinal therapeutic, components and values of garlic is that smell that we know that comes together.
Sure.
Certain enzymes are activated with regards to garlic, but it certainly can be taken. I mean, it's designed to be taken, directly under the tongue. But it's certainly, if need be, it can be taken either with or without food, if need be, or if it needs to be diluted down, it certainly can do a little bit.
Could you put it on like a salad and use it as part of the salad dressing, or not?
I don't see why not. Absolutely, if need be, that way it can be, or if it's on a piece of bread or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, absolutely, if need be, it can be taken. It can be taken like that.
Mm-hmm. 877-897-8255. You're listening to Jazz Mattu. He's an educator for Strauss Formulas. You can get there a couple of ways. You can go to Heart Drops 4life.com. That'll get you there. And then, of course, the name of the company, as I've been mentioning it. I know you're a strong advocate for the Heart Drops, but I just wanted to mention, too, that Strauss makes other products besides the Heart Drops, yes?
They do. In fact, they just launched a brand new product just recently, earlier this year, called by the name of Cold Storm. And again, this is a garlic supplement. It's a liquid extract of an aged garlic in there, and it's got it's been flavored just to take the edge off the garlic taste with Arctic cherry, which is great. I've tasted it on several occasions, and it does truly taste amazing. This is a product formulation. Earlier on, you was talking about the colds and flus that are affecting us this season, and how they're getting stronger and stronger every year. This is a phenomenal formula. And again, Health Canada approved, very, very safe. It's one of the only formulas out there that's even safe for young babies, for nursing moms, for pregnant women, and of course, adults from all ranges and stuff. So this
What's
is a liquid
the name of the product? What's the name of it?
It's called Cold Storm.
Cold Storm.
Absolutely, yeah. And there's information again that can be found with regards to this particular formula on the Strauss website.
Yeah, it's a nice website. I was looking at some of I'm there now. I'm at heartdropsforlife.com. Some nice images there. I saw a photograph of the father and the son, can you just really briefly, who was the founder of the company?
This was Jim Strauss. It's a father and son company. Peter Strauss being his son. Unfortunately, Jim passed away a few years back, and the company is now overseen by his son, by Peter. But these are truly two amazing individuals that worked extremely hard over the past 30, 40 years working with Health Canada and promoting and believing in their conviction about a phenomenal formula that comes from decades from Europe and bringing it to Canada, and did a lot of grassroots work with regards to working with Canadians and educating them about the properties of this particular formula, and collected over thousands of testimonials from individuals that were having amazing results.
You were reading my mind about. You were just reading my mind, because I was going to say to you, the next time you're on, if you could bring with you some of the read some of the testimonials. I've taught the people that use the product. I swear by it. Many people with heart issues, cardiovascular disease, and whatnot swear by it, and their passion for it. And over the years, Strauss was a sponsor of the show a while back, and now they're back, and we're grateful for that. I got to hear and read some of the testimonials, and they're very powerful. People,
they are indeed. We have over 1,000 testimonials, and new ones are always coming in.
Yeah.
Some of them are very, very heartwarming.
I know.
People from and truly, I mean, and that's one of the reasons why this formula has really stuck around for the past 30, 40 years in Canada, and is now growing very, very fast. And as you can appreciate, there are some amazing natural products out there that are great, and many of these formulas and companies are making claims.
Sure.
It's great for any company to be rewarded by testimonials that
Sure.
are coming back and really letting them know that
Sure.
this is what people are saying about the formulation.
StraussNaturals.com. StraussNaturals.com. I'll get you to their website. Jazz, thank you for being on today. Always enjoy having you on. Thank you for helping to shed some light on the product, educate the audience about the Strauss Heart Drops. Go to StraussNaturals.com. By the way, that product is sold in fine health stores throughout North America. And again, wish you Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you and yours, Jazz. Take care of yourself.
Thank you. You too.
All right. See you next time. We'll be back for the second hour at the top of the hour. And this is a science-based, evidence-based show. I'll tell you what that means. We'll be right back. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and glad you could tune in. We are in the real stream of it now, right? And it's a lot of fun. Can be stressful, as we've mentioned many times in the past couple of weeks, but trying to keep everything in perspective, right? It's all good. And I noticed more people absent today around here than typical. Parking lot's pretty empty. People are already starting their holiday vacation. And I hope that your holidays are proceeding nicely and moving into, if you're celebrating Hanukkah, and then Christmas, and the New Year is coming. 2018. Just thinking about it makes me wonder what's going to happen in 2018. It's been quite a year so far, right? Probably the most dramatic year of my life. From 2016 through 2017. Oh, my goodness. So,
did it go by fast for you?
It went by, Gary. Given what happened to me, it's hard to time. The concept of time changed for me. There was a time change, no pun intended.
Right.
It's hard to describe. I'm trying to write about it. I think about it. I'm trying to put it on paper. But when you're that sick, time just takes on a whole different meaning, right, and experience differently. It's hard to describe. It's hard to believe that a year has gone by, and a year ago, where I was and then and where I am now, it's a miracle to be even sitting here. So, did it go by fast? You're so distracted by everything. You lose track of time. You got to be careful you don't lose track of yourself. That's why you have to learn to be mindful and live in the moment. And that changes your concept of in relationship with time too. Living in the moment.
Right.
You ask a good question. I mean, and it's hard for me to. You see, I'm struggling to even answer it.
It's one of those things. I have a friend who has MS, and they struggle back and forth and struggle back and forth and struggle back and forth.
It's a serious disease. Serious.
One of the things that she always tells me, she goes, I value every moment. Every day, because I don't know when it's going to end.
She's absolutely right, and she means that. I don't know the woman, but I know what she's talking about. Literally every moment. Yesterday, I was caught up in something, and I stopped for a second, and I said, I thought, geez, you're alive. It's just stop whatever I was doing, and I embraced that, and I reminded myself to embrace every moment. Literally, it's hard to do, and when people are not ill or haven't been ill, haven't experienced a threat to their life in that way, I can understand how this idea seems somewhat of an abstraction. But if you talk to clinicians, Jim Lavelle, our guest in this portion of the show, has decades worth of clinical experience. I am sure patients have shared with him their experience about time when they're facing a crisis where their life is on the line. And to think about that every moment of every minute of every hour of every day, to be dialed into it. Isn't it interesting how we typically live? We live like we're in the here and now, but we're someplace else. And you need to be in the here and now.
I watch a lot of reality TV.
I know you do.
Okay. And one of the things that I notice on reality TV is a lot of those people on there don't think down the road.
Right now, well, see, being in the moment doesn't mean you don't have goals.
Right. Okay. That's what I was trying to get to. You got to have goals in your life, and you got to look out. Like if you have kids, you have to worry about taking care of those kids, and a lot of people don't
Goals are the bridges for your future. They're bridges into the future. But to get across that bridge, you have to do what? Start at the beginning of the bridge and take one step at a time. I mean, being mindful, living mindfully, doesn't mean that you don't think about tomorrow or have goals. It means that you have goals, but how you get there, how you get from time one to some time in the future is what we're talking about. And so when you live that way, the concept of time changes. And every moment, somebody with MS, they're on the clock and they know it. Somebody with cancer, you're on the clock and you know it.
I mean, let's look at John McCain. They just sent him back to Arizona.
Right. He
can't recover.
He can't even. He's being devastated by the treatment, and God knows what else is going on. His prognosis is not good.
But like if you have like high blood pressure, and you have the ability to fix that,
it's very preventable.
You know, diabetes, high blood pressure,
right?
Losing weight. I mean,
those are all within your realm of taking charge, right?
I'm an example of it. I sit here as an example of it.
It's hard. People may know. Moving from that level of it to know is one thing.
Right.
To take what you know and then to understand and then figure out how to make it part of your day-to-day life is another matter. And that takes even more thought, and you have to try. Sometimes there is no manual. And sometimes the clinician, the doctor, the nurse, whomever you're working with can help because they understand that process and maybe have been trained to help the patient with that. But it's just, it is intriguing. You got to remember, B.F. Skinner wasn't altogether wrong. We are conditioned by the environment. We do become habituated. And sometimes your habits dominate you knowing better.
Yes.
You may know better, but habitually, you're having a difficult time. In terms of your habits, you're having a hard time meeting what you know in your head with what you're doing in your life day to day. And many practitioners, physicians included, are not trained in the social sciences. They don't know how to go about helping the patient change. You just can't say to the patient, Jim, you need to lower your blood pressure and you need to quit eating those steaks and drinking all that beer all the time. Really? You think that's going to get it done? That's going to do what? Motivate Jim to stop that? I don't think so.
My sister called me yesterday. We were sitting there talking. We have an event to go to this weekend. She goes to me, I stopped eating meat. She goes, after Jimmy being on the show and you guys talking about it, listening to the show, she goes, I stopped eating meat.
She's been listening to what I had to say.
She goes, it was one of the hardest decisions she's had to do.
Does she feel better about it?
She does. I said, now if you could just stop smoking and drinking, we'd be great. So, and she goes, it's
hard.
It's hard.
Because it becomes ritualized behavior. Smoking and drinking are associated. It's not just the smoking and the drinking. It's what it's connected to. Good moments. As a trial and jury consultant, I used to watch lawyers drink when they won the case. I would watch them drink when they lost the case. Yeah. So in other words, my point is that these unhealthy behaviors are ritualized and ingrained. You just can't say to somebody, well, you need to quit smoking or you need to quit drinking. Well, they know that. You're not going to persuade them. How is what's going to persuade them? Telling them why, they know why. Mm-hmm. Jim Lavelle knows how. That's why I like him. We'll get him to come on and tell you all about how.
Almost 52% of men experience erectile dysfunction and benign prostatic hyperplasia. If you've had challenges with virility, sexual health, or low energy, Body Vigor's Alpha Extension may be the answer for you. Body Vigor's Alpha Extension can help revitalize your alpha male and extend your love. Our formula is one of the highest quality nutraceuticals available, formulated to support the processes involved in promoting a healthy male sex drive, energy, and stamina. Alpha Extension has 2 powerful herbal blends, Virilo Max, which focuses on male sexual health, and T-Pump Activator, which helps balance your testosterone levels. Revitalize your alpha male with Body Vigor's Alpha Extension. Exclusively available on Amazon.com.
Jim Lavelle's my guest. I always enjoy talking to Jim. He's a high energy guy. He's out there on the left coast, so we appreciate him getting up early. Jim, welcome back to Let's Talk Nutrition. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, happy whatever makes you happy, brother.
Hey, man, I tend to stay in that state of being happy, but, this is a great time of the year. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Did you happen to hear my monologue?
Of course.
Can you shed a little bit of light, or you have a lot of clinical experience, man?
Well, yeah, you know what? Here's the thing. You know what? You can have all the clinical experience you want. The reality is when you get faced with things that kind of make you stare at your mortality and you get through it, you succeed. And even if you don't, but you change your viewpoint, it really has a tremendous impact for the rest of your life. And I know from my standpoint, working with a lot of cancer patients, it's really interesting. Because, or even autoimmune disease cases where people are really faced with their mortality, they all of a sudden go, you know what? I haven't talked to my brother in 8 years because he ticked me off about something, or, gee, I had, my ex-wife or my child. I haven't spoke to them in 3 years, and all of a sudden they go, you know what? Wow, maybe that big thing I thought was so important that I'm hanging on to in the past, maybe I need to get present.
Yeah.
And I think for me, one of the most gratifying things I've seen is that people really start to come to grips with what it means to be a human being and to be compassionate and to be living in the moment and appreciating every moment you're there. I had one of those moments, fortunately for me, when I was 20 years old, and it shaped my life these last 37 years of living, and so I'm pretty darn grateful that it happened for me.
Well said, James. Yeah, you know, it's interesting. You can take an individual, give them a round-the-world ticket on an ocean liner, airplane, whatever way they want to do it, take as much time as they want, and they come back, they're just as ignorant as when they left. Then again, you can take somebody and have them just go down to the street corner to the grocery store and get you something and come back home, and they can come back far wiser than when they left. In other words, my point is some people don't learn. They squander the opportunity.
Sure.
And people say, how can cancer be an opportunity? How can MS be an opportunity? How can a disease... An addiction be an opportunity.
Right.
Well, it's an opportunity in the way that James just described. It can, you have the book, but there are just chapters you refuse to read or open. And what this will force you to do, if you're at least a little bit reflective, is you'll start to read chapters in your own life book that you need to have read. That will instruct you, illuminate you, guide you, and send you on a different path. I don't mean to belabor it, but I just wanted to get your take on it because I have a lot of regard for you have so much experience in dealing with patients of all types and all kinds of health issues. So I just wanted your take on it.
Sure.
By the way, how are you anyhow?
I'm doing great. I'm really good. I mean, having a fantastic year, and just came back from Arizona State, my son, with his official football visit. So we went and got to go and tour the facilities, and now he's committing there on this Wednesday. He'll sign his national letter of intent. So and I went to I was at the A4M annual convention and was named Teacher of the Year there. So I'm riding pretty high after this weekend. It was a pretty good weekend for me. I mean, it was a surprise. I didn't know I was going to be Faculty of the Year. It's about 300. Where
do you teach?
There.
Where do you teach?
Oh, I teach a whole bunch of different things with them. I teach, detoxification, cognitive behavior, addiction, weight loss. I
typically
go through a whole series of things.
What are the venues in which you do that?
Oh, this one was 5,000 physicians that were in Las Vegas, and from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. there's classes all day long.
Good for you, James.
Yeah, it's great.
Congratulations.
Big weekend.
Good
Feeling
for you.
Good about it.
I always like people when they're getting trophies instead of traffic tickets. If you know what I mean.
I don't know if I was driving the right car. I was really excited about it. A traffic ticket might not be horrible.
I was using it. I was using that metaphorically, some sort of violation.
I know your passion for cars, man. I got it.
All right. So
he got to ride in the Lambo on Friday.
I'm just saying.
They took me for a ride in a Lamborghini, and yeah, we were 0 to
110.
We ended up doing 110 in a matter of 3 seconds.
I'm glad you were on a track.
No, we weren't. I almost lost my water. And my vehicle has 710 horsepower, and I thought it was fast. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, you're an educator for Waukanaga of America. You and I both have a long-standing relationship with that company.
Of course.
As consultants, as friends. They are a class act, aren't they?
Well, I think they're one of the rare examples. They're a real heritage company in the dietary supplement space because they devote themselves to doing research. So, I mean, I think it's amazing that you have a company that is devoted to finding out the science of why their products work so that they can really make both healthcare professionals and consumers feel at ease that, hey, this is the benefit you're going to get, and, oh, by the way, you're not going to get any harm. And I think that's pretty important.
It is pretty important, and if you don't know, Waukanaga of America is the company responsible for Kyolic aged garlic extract, among other products, but that is their flagship product, sold in, I think, over 50 countries. It's crazy. They're all over the world. Been in business since the end of World War II, at least here in America. There's Waukanaga of Japan, where it started with Manji Waukanaga. It's a great company, one of the best supplement companies of all time, no doubt about it.
Are you waking up each day to the have to live or to
Almost 52% of men experience erectile dysfunction and benign prostatic hyperplasia. If you've had challenges with virility, sexual health, or low energy, Body Vigor's Alpha Extension may be the answer for you. Body Vigor's Alpha Extension can help revitalize your alpha male and extend your love. Our formula is one of the highest quality nutraceuticals available, formulated to support the processes involved in promoting a healthy male sex drive, energy, and stamina. Alpha Extension has 2 powerful herbal blends, Virilla Max, which focuses on male sexual health, and T-Pump Activator, which helps balance your testosterone levels. Revitalize your alpha male with Body Vigor's Alpha Extension, exclusively available on Amazon.com.
Jim Lavalle, educator for Wampanoag of America, makers of Kyolic aged garlic extract, is my guest today. Jim, welcome back. What did you want to persuade the audience about today? What's on your mind?
Well, I think there's a couple things that are important. First of all, the new statistics just came out. 1 in 2 Americans have high blood pressure. Now, there is an argument that, well, maybe they're being too aggressive on lowering the blood pressure numbers and making that happen. And I got to tell you, I thought they didn't lower them enough. I mean, when you start to really study what's going on, like the biggest topic going on is heart rate variability and what's going on with your sympathetic nervous system or your fight-or-flight nervous system and your calming nervous system, your parasympathetic nervous system. And when your fight-or-flight response overwhelms your I can be calm response, meaning I can live in the moment response and take a deep breath, when you get overwhelmed, that systolic blood pressure starts to go up. That's that first early sign that you're going to start to have heart disease, that you're going to damage the inner lining of your arteries. And I think Kyolic has proven itself over the last 30 years of research that it's probably the single best thing you can do to condition and maintain the health of your blood vessels and your heart. And so for people that, like you were talking about in your opening monologue, right? People go, you know what, I'll wait tomorrow. Get your blood pressure. If it's over 120/80, go and buy a bottle of Kyolic. Start taking something and track your blood pressure and see if you can get some help for yourself. Obviously, learning how to live a less stressful life and getting a good night's sleep, all those lifestyle things that we want people to do and change, that may not come right away, but start to lay out a protection plan because it is the big thing that's affecting the health of Americans. So that's the first one. For this year coming up, start to take care of your heart and your blood vessels and realize when you don't take care of your heart and your blood vessels, it's going to affect your brain. When you get reduced blood flow because of endothelial dysfunction, you're not going to get oxygen to your brain, and that is a good chance that you're going to start creating dementia and other neurodegenerative disorders. So, we keep thinking about only your heart. People have to remember there's a heart-brain connection, and it affects every last aspect of your body. When your blood vessels are not able to fully dilate and fully carry the nutrients to every cell in your body in order to maintain your health as you're aging. So that's number one.
Okay, and let me just interrupt you for a second here and just inform the listener and the viewer of the show. What Jim's referring to is the 2017 guideline update. It's entitled The Seventh Report of the Joint National Committee on Prevention, Detection, Evaluation, and Treatment of High Blood Pressure. Know this, that in 2010, to Jim's point about hypertension was the leading cause of death in disability-adjusted life years worldwide.
Yep.
And the greatest contributor to events in women and African Americans compared with Caucasians. It's often overlooked as a risk factor. I don't know how for cardiovascular diseases, but they changed. Some experts are taking issue with the new guidelines. I don't know. We can talk about what the numbers are, but do you have issues with the numbers? That
I think the numbers need to be lowered. I mean, I honestly do have issues.
Tell the audience what you mean by the numbers need to be lowered.
So the thing is that they started to talk about treatment at 130. And really, treatment should be, and when I say treatment, I mean healthcare professionals should be up a person's tail about their blood pressure once it's consistently over 120/80. As soon as your systolic blood pressure starts to rise, your nervous system is excessively releasing adrenaline. That's the first one, and that could be due to either insulin resistance, I'm eating too many carbs, I'm eating too many sweets, maybe I'm too stressed out. There's a reason why I'm making too much adrenaline. Or it could be, and most healthcare professionals aren't going to counsel their patients on this, but you and I know this, that they could have environmental burden, things like lead, which are clearly cited even in the Veterans Normative Aging study that was published by our National Institute of Health, that an environmental pollutant could be causing endothelial dysfunction and hypertension. So my point is that experts take issue at it because they say people are going to get medicated too early because, you know what, people don't feel good on blood pressure medications a lot of times. Right?
Right.
It's a fact. Or they don't stay on them, long enough to normalize.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
What's interesting, to Jim's point, they point out in a abstract of the report that they say, quote, often overlooked, the risk for cardiovascular disease increases in a log linear fashion from systolic blood pressure levels less than 115 millimeters of mercury to greater than 180 mm's of mercury, and from diastolic blood pressure levels less than 75 mm's of mercury to greater than 105 mm's of mercury.
Right.
All those numbers, in other words, just tell the listener and the viewer what systolic number and what diastolic number should cause them concern.
So if your numbers are, say, your systolic is 130, you want to start watching your diet, get on some aged garlic, get on some magnesium, get on some fish oil, start to create a lifestyle, manage your stress, get on a lifestyle that's going to bring that blood pressure down, because you know what's interesting about blood pressure? It's called the silent killer for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, it is called this
because
it is silent.
The beauty of it. You know what the first sign of a heart attack is 50% of the time?
Death.
Yeah, exactly.
Death. That's your first sign and symptom, and it's too late. How do you feel about 120 mm's of mercury?
I don't have a problem at 120.
You don't?
I really don't. I mean, if on a systolic, if lifestyle is good, stress is good, sleep is good, and the diastolic pressure is under 80. So if you have a 120 over 75, that people aren't dying on a 120 over 75 blood pressure.
Right.
What's happening is that, but most people aren't even hovering around in that area, right? If you're a 120 over 80, but you're 40 pounds overweight, guess what? Your blood pressure still may be good, but you could have a lot of other inflammation in your body that's causing you to accelerate your risk, right? So once again, what happens is we take one thing and we say, this is it. And blood pressure is super important, don't get me wrong. But if you start to combine, and that's kind of what we do when we teach systems biology healthcare, is combine blood pressure plus weight plus insulin plus blood glucose. Now all of a sudden you start to add up all your risk factors and go, where am I really? The normal weight person at 120 over 80 has very little risk.
Okay, so just keep those numbers in mind. Millimeters per mercury is millimeters of mercury, right? That's what mmHg means.
Is getting a good night
the perfect complement to your beauty regimen? Try Form Essentials Zinnia. The finest of its kind, Zinnia offers twice as much biotin as other formulas, which has proven to unlock the vibrancy in even the dullest of hair, skin, and nails. Zinnia breaks through and rejuvenates cells internally, helping you achieve the allure of effortless beauty. Reviving your hair, skin, and nails has never been easier. This essential blend of biotin, alpha-lipoic, and hyaluronic acid, collagen, and vitamin C creates lasting enhancements to your natural good looks. Don't go on wondering, you're worth the results. This combination of ingredients can only be found in Zinnia. Pamper yourself with a proven bit of affordable luxury and start looking your best. Ask for Zinnia by name at your nearest vitamin retailer to begin your journey to restored nails, head-turning hair, and radiant skin today. For more information, visit formessentials.com.
When your alarm goes off, do you jump out of bed with excitement? Or does it take multiple alarms, a few snooze buttons, or a morning caffeine fix to get you going? These habits and daily stress cause a vicious cycle in which sleep becomes increasingly elusive. In fact, 54% of Americans report struggles to fall or stay asleep. For a better night's rest, look no further than Solace, an all-natural dietary supplement that supports healthy sleep and relaxation, so you get the rest you need to wake up clear-eyed, alert, and ready for the day. Solace has given thousands a better night's rest and the power to take back their mornings while enjoying the day ahead of them. Solace is formulated with non-addictive, scientifically proven, all-natural ingredients that support sleep and relaxation, such as melatonin, tryptophan, and 5-HTP. For more information or to order Solace, visit takesolace.com. Solace for healthy sleep naturally.
The LTN holiday health question of the day. So Jim Lavelle, my guest today, has been talking about blood pressure, high blood pressure, low blood pressure, plus blood pressure in between. We can measure blood pressure, thank goodness. We can tell people the risk factors for high blood pressure, thank goodness. We can give them recommendations, dietary and lifestyle recommendations to help lower blood pressure or to prevent it, thank goodness. Well, so what's the problem? People don't listen. They don't invoke or they don't put into practice what's told. And like Jim said, usually the first sign and symptom of heart disease is a heart attack leading to death. Blood pressure is often at the at the scene of the crime. Here's the question relative to blood pressure. We're able to measure the pressure in the arteries when the heart contracts. We're also able to measure the pressure in the arteries in between beats or when the heart relaxes. What is that top number called where we measure when the heart squeezes, if you will, that pressure that's then forced into the artery? What's that called? Is that the diastolic pressure or the systolic pressure? What's the top number? Diastolic or systolic? Here's the number to call.
You can reach us at 877-897-8255. That's 877-897-8255.
Jim, some experts consider 120/80 to be pre-hypertensive. Do you?
Well, if I want to go by the standards that have been put out recently, yes, I say if all other risk factors are normal, then absolutely not. However, if you're at 120/80, it means that you're at the upper ceiling of acceptance. Would it be better if you were 115/75? 100%. So why not start on something like aged garlic extract as soon as your numbers are topping out at the top end of normal? It's kind of like once your check service light comes on your car, do you wait around and go, hey, I think I'm going to wait around until something breaks?
No, you don't.
You don't. You get on it right away. So if you're at 120/80, you need to get to work. It's that simple. Your blood pressure should be below that. That's the higher ceiling of acceptance. Once people start to reach that 130 number, they're in real trouble. And I'm just telling you, from 35 years of being a clinical pharmacist and, in clinical nutrition, working on patients, when people get put on blood pressure medications, the compliance is low because either they feel poorly from it or they don't stick with it long enough to feel normal when their blood pressure comes down because they feel sluggish for a little bit. And I'm going to tell you, I have people come into me regularly, but I will see 155 or 160 over 110 blood pressure. The beauty of taking Kyolic is that it literally has been shown to relax the blood vessel and remodel the inside of the blood vessel so the inside of your blood vessel becomes normal again and not as prone to plaquing. And it's actually even regressed plaque. So that's why I'm so passionate about, say, if you're going to do one thing, do that. Yes, magnesium is good. Yes, fish oil good. But, by far, taking Kyolic is the top thing people could do.
Let's go to St. Petersburg, Florida. Mel, Merry Christmas, and glad you're on the phone. How are you doing?
Hi, Doc. I'm doing okay.
Good boy.
Doing better.
Good. Excellent. Nice to hear your voice.
Thank you.
And Merry Christmas. It's a happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate.
Merry Christmas.
So what is that top number called? Diastolic pressure?
Systolic.
Yeah, it's your systolic pressure. Have you finished your treatment?
Yes, I finished my last chemo on October 26th for now, and my scans have improved. The lesions have reduced in size.
Good boy.
And they haven't spread.
That's good.
And I go back on the 10th of January and may have some more scans. And I've been, the doctor, I had chemo almost 6 months.
Yeah.
Really knocks you down a little bit.
It knocks you down a little bit. It knocks you down a lot. I know exactly. Yeah, you're a warrior, brother. You're a warrior.
Well, thank you. And I wanted to mention to the guy, your guest, the last 2 months, I started using the Kyo Greens. And I really like it.
Oh, you like the Kyo Greens?
Green that I've had.
Okay, good. The Kyo Greens is a great product. Yes, I'm glad you mentioned it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, you enjoy your holidays, Mel, and mindfulness, right, Mel? Living in the moment, right?
Yeah. And any time we're comfortable and not hurting is good.
That's right, Mel. God bless you. We love you, Mel, and we'll pray. And you're a warrior. Congratulations! You won a $25 supplement gift card.
And thank you for everything, Doc.
Mel. Thank you. And we'll celebrate this Christmas with great meaning, right? Jim, welcome back. That guy is just a terrific guy. He's an avid listener of the show, and he's battling cancer. He's really been, he's got his hands full, and boy, he's really waged a phenomenal fight and battle. So many people like that around the world. You know, in this audience, there's a big platform. Thousands of people listen and watch, and a substantial number. I dare say there's probably not one person that listens and watches this show globally and across the U.S. that either hasn't had cancer or doesn't know somebody who has. It's almost impossible not to know somebody, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's it's the next big number. You know, we brought up Kyo Greens. Wow, what a phenomenal product!
It is.
They're launching a whole new line with Kyo Greens, and what balances your pH, gives you the trace minerals you need, helps with detoxification, and once again, coming from Wakanaga, a product that you can trust. It's clean, and it tastes good.
It does taste good. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. As I said, whatever makes you happy, James. I extend health and happiness to you and your family this coming new year. And it's always great to have you on the air. Maybe I'll get to see you in person, maybe at Expo West or someplace, right?
Let's hope, man. That'd be great.
All right. Enjoy your holiday. Enjoy that California weather, man.
Oh, yeah, we got it. All right. Talk to you later, Michael. All right. Have a great week.
You
Bye-bye.
do the same, pal. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Enjoy your holiday coming up through each and every day. Be mindful. Try to be mindful. Try to be grateful. Do your best among all the stress and distractions. Take a moment. Just take a moment and just reflect for a moment. That's all it takes. Take care of yourself. Your health is your wealth, and your health is the wealth of those that care about and love you.